Welcome to Supernatural Japan, the podcast where we explore the myths, legends, and haunted corners of the Japanese archipelago. I'm your host, Kevin O'Shea. Tonight, we're stepping into the neon haze of Shinjuku, Tokyo's busiest district, a place overflowing with energy, lights, noise, and people. But once the last train leaves and the crowds thin out, Shinjuku takes on a very different personality. Hidden beneath the skyscrapers is a place full of tunnels, echoing corridors, and a maze of tracks that stretch far beyond what most commuters ever see. And in that darkness, some say a ghost train runs its own quiet route. This is the story of the Shinjuku Ghost Train. Shinjuku Station is the busiest train station in the world. Over 3.5 million people pass through it every single day. With more than 200 exits, dozens of platforms, and a web of underground passages, it has a reputation in Japan as a labyrinth that swallows people whole. It's also a place with a long history of accidents, suicides, late-night maintenance work, and strange sightings in the lesser-traveled service areas. For generations, Japanese railways have carried not just passengers, but countless ghost stories. Densha no Kaidan, or railway ghost stories. It's no surprise that Shinjuku has one too. The basic story is simple. According to commuter folklore, late at night, usually long after the official last trains have run, some people have witnessed a silent, dimly lit train gliding into one of Shinjuku's platforms. The train arrives without announcement, has no visible driver or passengers. It often resembles an old orange Chuo line train, a model retired decades ago. It slows to a stop, doors closed, and then it vanishes, either by slipping away on the track no one saw it use, or by simply fading out entirely. The bravest versions of the tale say that if you step inside, you'll never return. The train is a one-way trip, somewhere far from the living world. And this sounds a lot like the episode we did about the infamous Kisaragi Station, doesn't it? If you don't know that episode, go look a few episodes back to the mysterious Kisaragi Station one. There's another haunted train story for you. Let's continue. Like many Japanese urban legends, the tale isn't fixed. It mutates depending on who's telling it. Now, here are some of the most common versions. First, we have the phantom on the monitors. Late-night station workers claim they see a train approaching on their track sensors. Speed, distance, direction, all perfectly normal. But the platform stays empty. No lights, no sound, nothing arrives. The system insists the train came and left. Next, we have the closed platform. Commuters rushing for the last train sometimes look down a darkened platform and see headlights approaching. But the moment they take a step closer, the lights blink out and the platform remains empty. Then we have the silent orange train. Stories describe a distinctly older Chuo line model. Orange paint, square headlights, a style not used since the 1970s or 80s. And people swear they saw it pull in, only to dissolve like smoke. We have the vanishing passenger. Some claim they see a lone woman standing inside the ghost train. She doesn't move. She doesn't blink. And when the observer looks away for a second and back again, she's gone. And of course, we have the train to nowhere. A darker version warns that the ghost train takes its passengers to a place called Mukogawa, literally the other side of the river, a poetic phrase often used in Japan to mean the realm of the dead. Now, each of these variants draws on the eerie atmosphere of Shinjuku at night. Long tunnels, echoing metal, flickering lights, and the tragedies the station has seen. Now, these stories, these urban legends, come from a combination of history and real-world roots. Now, the ghost trains often come from a mix of real accidents, late-night sightings of maintenance vehicles, people glimpsing out-of-service rolling stock, and overactive imaginations in a stressful environment. Shinjuku has had its fair share of fatal incidents, platform accidents, suicides, and emergency stops. For railway workers, late-night shifts can be unsettling. Fluorescent lights buzz, dark tunnels amplify every distant sound, and the shadows play tricks on the eyes. Add Japan's long-standing tradition of kaiden, or ghost stories, plus the internet age, and the perfect storm for a modern urban legend was created. Many of today's stories spread from the early 2000s message boards like Ni-chan or 2channel. Japan isn't the only place with ghost trains. These legends are surprisingly universal. We look at the United Kingdom, the Royal Train of King's Cross. Londoners tell stories of a phantom Victorian-era train appearing on closed lines, said to be carrying the spirits of plague victims or King's Cross residents who died in fires. In the United States, we have the St. Louis Ghost Train. In Saskatchewan, in Canada, just north of the U.S. border, a famous light called the St. Louis Ghost Train, or the St. Louis Ghost Light, supposedly follows abandoned tracks. Some say it's a headless conductor searching for his caboose. In South Africa, there's the Flying Dutchman of Rail. Cape Town has a railway ghost legend inspired by the Ocean Tale, a phantom locomotive that barrels down the tracks in misty weather, then disappears. In Sweden, there's the Silverpillen, or the Silver Arrow, one of the world's best-known ghost trains. This shiny, silvery subway train was real, but rare and out of place. Swedes claimed it only appeared to lost souls or commuters heading towards abandoned stations. And in Australia, we have the Picton Ghost Train. Near Picton's Red Bank Range Tunnel, people report hearing a steam engine in the middle of the night, decades after steam locomotives stopped running. Ghost trains often show up in places of tragedy, isolation, or complex infrastructures. Shinjuku, massive, confusing, and home to countless real-life stories, is exactly the kind of place these legends thrive. In Japanese folklore, trains often act as thresholds, boundaries between the everyday world and something stranger. There's a movement between realms, the journey to the afterlife, spirits traveling on their own schedules. Trains symbolize transition and routes that don't always have clear endings. The Shinjuku Ghost Train fits neatly into that tradition, becoming a modern kaiden rooted in anxiety, urban overload, and unknown spaces beneath the city. Shinjuku Station may be full of noise and chaos during the day, but once the crowds thin out and the last announcements echo through the concourse, it becomes a very different place. Quiet, eerie, almost expectant. Maybe the Shinjuku Ghost Train is just a story born from the tired minds of commuters and night shift workers. Or maybe, in the deepest hours of the night, something older and quieter still moves through these tunnels, following a schedule no living passenger can read. Thank you for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you enjoy this podcast, please remember to follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I'd really appreciate it if you could also leave a review and a rating. That really helps other spooky history lovers find the show too. Now, to see photos of of Shinjuku Station and what the Shinjuku Ghost Train might look like, follow our Instagram at Supernatural Japan and check out our Facebook group as well for additional photos, again, of what it might look like or what it's supposed to look like. Now, I'm on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple, where I post pictures of life in Asia, all kinds of fun stuff, not necessarily spooky. I've been living in Asia for more than 20 years, so there's a lot of cool things I like to share. Now, you can support the show, of course, with a one-time donation over at Buy Me a Coffee, and anything helps and is appreciated. The links are all in the show notes of the podcast. You can shoot me an email anytime you'd like at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Stories, ideas, different topics you'd like me to cover on the podcast, or if you have your own spooky tales, I'd love to hear them. Again, that will be in the show notes. And you can, of course, help the podcast grow by sharing Supernatural Japan on your own social media and telling friends about this spooky podcast. Now, if you ever find yourself alone on a platform at Shinjuku after midnight and you hear the distant rumble of a train that isn't supposed to be there, maybe don't step too close to the edge.